The King's back. Thank y'all once again for tuning in to the one and only Blake Check. It's the culture commentator King Blake tapping in more content for your head top. All right. Now listen, this one we had to do a little different, right? Because breaking news today, Kanye has been dropped by Adidas. They have terminated the deal. And of course, a lot of people have a lot to say about this, right? Because it's like people feel as though he's made so many statements against so many groups, right? Why now did he get cut from Adidas? And I think it's a lot of things that plays into it, right? It's a lot of factors that weighs into it. It's not as clean cut as like some people are saying, because a lot of people are taking the stance of like, oh, he should have the freedom of speech, and oh, why when he was saying the things that was deemed maybe anti-black to a lot of people, nothing happened. But then as soon as he starts talking about the small hat people, then it starts to turn into a problem, right? So that's where I want to break that down a little bit, and I want to do it a little differently, right? I want to walk through this, and that's why we're going to do it like this today, right? So with that said, let's get into the timeline of how everything has broken down with Kanye lately, right? So, he has done a series of interviews since he wore his White Lives Matter shirt at the beginning of the month with Candace Owens. And I think that started at the top of the month. And since then, it's just been really, really interesting few weeks with the interviews, the random interviews that he's doing too, and the things that he's saying. So, in order to properly address that, we should go through the timeline of everything, right? That's only the right way for those who might have missed a thing or two. All right, because right now, Ye has lost Balenciaga. His divorce lawyer said that he's not working with him in the divorce anymore. He had his Chase account closed. J.P. Morgan and Chase, they cut ties with him like a week or two ago. He lost the Gap deal. That's no longer happening. And his talent agent cut ties with him just a few days ago. And then now Adidas is cut ties with him. So it's just been a lot going on, man, and it might be a little bit hard to understand or hard to follow for some people because it's been something every day, right? It's been something every day. So let's go through the timeline, right? On October 3rd, West, Candace Owens, and at least one model wear shirts with White Lives Matter written on them at West Yeezy fashion show in Paris. The Southern Poverty Law Center says the term is associated with a neo-Nazi group that with that same name that was founded as a racist response to civil rights movement Black Lives Matter, and describes itself as dedicated to promotion of the white race and taking positive action as a united voice against issues facing our race. Now, immediately, this caused a lot of people to be up in arms when they saw these T-shirts and stuff like that, because you have people who given the heads of the Black Lives Matter movement, the people who were collecting all the money and stuff like that. We found out that they was using the funds to fund their lifestyle and not really giving back to the people and things like that. But regardless of that, it was the sentiment behind the movement that galvanized so many people and brought so many people together, because a lot of people were tired and frustrated with the way that they were seeing things happening in the media, and even in their day-to-day lives with dealing with police and their family members' experiences as well as their own personal experiences. And then they're getting pushback from people in their neighborhoods. A lot of people live in areas where it's different cultures, where a lot of times they have this clash between the blacks and the whites. So when the Black Lives Matters movement came along, it empowered a lot of people, and at the same time, it emboldened a lot of people to show themselves and show that they really don't rock with black people like that. We saw a lot of people come out during that time period and push back against the movement, and it was very revealing for where a lot of them stood. So moving on October 4th, after criticizing LVMH CEO Bernard Arnault at West Fashion Show, the rapper baselessly claims this is from Forbes.com. I just want to put that out there because it does when you say baselessly claims and stuff like that, um, that's opinionated. These aren't just the facts, right? So uh, just want to put that out there. The rapper baselessly claims on Instagram that Arnott killed my best friend, seemingly alluding to he killed Virgil, who died of cancer last year, and later claims LVMH's elitism and racism affected Abloh's health. West is criticized by streetwear brand's Supreme Creative Director Tremaine Emery for using Virgil's death for his own advantage. Yes, I remember that as well. Tremaine came out and was pretty much trying to expose Kanye for he didn't really have love for Virgil like that, and he used to try to kick his back in and all of this extra stuff. So that was a whole another aspect of it where he was accusing this man of pretty much killing Virgil. So that happened the next day, October 6th. After West publicly complained about his contract with Adidas to make Yeezy products, Adidas says it's putting its long-standing relationship with West under review. It was October 6th. Today's the 25th. 19 days later, we've arrived at this point. And in response, West writes on Instagram, "Fuck Adidas. I am Adidas. Adidas raped and stole my designs." Now, that is the truth. Adidas has many different lines of sneakers. Of course, the Yeezy brand is the most successful one. And then you started seeing weird Yeezy-ish type sneakers like popping up in stores and different places. And it was pretty much replicating the Yeezy design of his sneakers, especially I think it was like the 350s or something like that. They might have replicated those to death. And of course, as a designer, Kanye took problems with that and took up aim with that because it's like, bro, y'all are taking my design and y'all are cheapening my product by putting out, all of these like fake Yeezys. Like they were making their own bootleg Yeezys. It was crazy to see. I've never seen that before. I've never seen. I mean, I guess you want to consider it's like they were making their own Jumpman to his Jordan, and it was just weird. So of course he had an issue with that, and that's why he said the part about they raped and stole his designs. That part is definitely true. October 6th, in an interview with Fox News' Tucker Carlson, West wears an ultrasound photo around his neck to demonstrate his pro-life views, and basically, again, opinion claims there's more black babies being aborted than born in New York City at this point. 50% of black death in America is abortion. And then later brings up Lizzo when saying being overweight is genocide of the black race. Okay, so there we got so much to break down with that. Abortion is a really, really big thing. With all of the stuff that's happening in the Supreme Court, with the people that are pro-life and pro-choice, it's a lot there. There are a lot of abortions in the black community, and the way I look at it is like if you really believe abortion is murder, then you definitely, make sense for your pro-life views. But a lot of women feel as though it's their body, their choice. I'm not a woman. I respect, how they feel about it, but the fight rages on because it's going to always be people who feel a way about abortion. So it's always going to be a hot topic, right? And he's saying that more black babies are being aborted in New York City than born. That's crazy. I remember Nas said on one mic, "Hood rats don't abortion your womb. We need more warriors soon, sent from the star, sun, and the moon." So it's like a lot of people have always felt like a lot of blacks are encouraged to commit abortions in a sense, but it does have a lot to do with money. Everything is so money driven. They just put out an article that was circulating a few months back talking about it takes about $300,000 to raise a kid. Depending on where you are, some people feel as though it's true, but at the end of the day, man, it really just takes love and commitment, devotion, and of course, it takes money to raise them and do certain things, but let's stop putting a price tag on life. Like that's sick, right? It's sick. But either way, moving on, he also talks about Lizzo being overweight, and that's the genocide of the black race. Now, people take aim with that, of course, but we have to also understand diabetes, high blood pressure, heart attacks are leading killers in the black community. So what he says there, that's the thing with Kanye. He has moments of clarity and lucidity where he says things that makes a lot of sense, but when he starts to talk, he trails off into different directions and different things, and then it's like, what the fuck is you talking about? But at the end of the day, if you break down certain parts of what he says, there's a little nuggets of truth in a lot of the things that he say. But the way that he says it, I don't know if he's compared himself a lot to Dame Dash in terms of the message might be there, but the messenger is sometimes going to offend you. And you know, Dame Dash on the Breakfast Club is still one of the greatest interviews of all time. It's inspirational, especially for black people and people trying to make their way. Hustle for your last name, not your first name. Hence the Blake check. All right, moving on. October 7th, West is restricted on Instagram for violating the app's policies after he posts a screenshot of a text conversations between him and Diddy, in which he was saying he was going to use Combs as an example to show the Jewish people that told you to call me that no one can threaten or influence me, which the American Jewish Committee says invokes tropes like greed and control about Jewish people. Now, that's where the whole anti-Semitism thing begins. And that's where the road is very long, right? Because he firmly believes that people like Diddy and Meek and a lot of these rappers are in the pockets of Jewish people, right? They feel as though like they're controlled by them and things like that. And a lot of times they do have these business ties. Like we're seeing that he's losing, that they're going to be in jeopardy of risking if they align with any of those thoughts that he's expressing. So that's why he was just sending that message to him saying, listen, I know them Jewish people that you got business with, and that's running things on the low is telling you to admonish me and telling you to speak out against me and let them know I don't care. You know what I'm saying? He basically gave Diddy the 300 kick and told him to get the fuck out of here when Diddy was trying to just let him know, baby, hey, yo, chill out. And I ain't feeling that White Lives Matter thing. But the way Kanye saw it was like, nah, who sent you? Who sent you? That's all Kanye was on. All right, so moving forward, October 9th. On Twitter, West claims he's going to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. An apparent misspelling of DEFCON, and says it was not anti-Semitic for him to say so because black people are actually Jew also. His account is promptly locked by the social media platform. So we already see Instagram restricts him on the 7th, October 9th, his Twitter got locked. So again, a lot of people are saying, oh, it's anti-Semitism because, like they said here on the 7th, it's tropes of like greed and control about Jewish people. But if at the same time, when he says things about them, the control factor immediately kicks in of the things that and platforms that they control, like Instagram and Twitter, deplatform him. All right. Now, October 10th, while his accounts elsewhere are blocked, West posts a documentary to YouTube which contains footage of him displaying a porn movie to Adidas executive. That was a crazy clip that came out. He was in a meeting with these Adidas executives and he pulls his phone down and he got the phone in the guy's face and he's showing them a clip from a porno. I don't know, if there was a better way to make his point, but that might be the most Kanye West shit that he did throughout this whole process, right? So moving on again, October 11th, Vice's motherboard leaks footage from West's interview with Tucker Carlson, that was edited out of the broadcast, including him saying the term Jew refers to the 12 lost tribes of Judah, who the people know as the race black really are, who the people known as the race black really are. A belief the Anti-Defamation League says stems from the Black Hebrew Israelite movement. He also falsely says Planned Parenthood was founded to control the Jew population. Planned Parenthood founder Margaret Sanger did believe in eugenics and the racist and ableist idea of selective breeding, which the organization now denounces. All right. October 12th, talk show The Shop says it would not air interview with West because he used the platform to reiterate more hate speech and extremely dangerous stereotypes. The Shop is the show that is owned by LeBron and his partner Mav Carter. And they pretty much pulled the episode. I think Yeezy was supposed to be on that episode as well. No clips or nothing have come from that, so we don't know exactly what he might have said. But based on what he said on the Drink Champs a few days later, we can pretty much tell that's the type of timing that he was on. On October 15th, in a since deleted episode of Drink Champs, West falsely claims that George Floyd died because of fentanyl and not because former officer Derek Chauvin knelt on his neck for 9 minutes. Floyd's family subsequently says it plans to sue West for the remarks, which they did. They somebody brought up an interesting point. They said the Floyd family sued the police department for like $25 million for actually killing George Floyd, but they're suing Kanye West for like $250 million for just talking about it. Okay. And as far as the George Floyd thing, we saw the video. Did he have fentanyl in his system? Yes. Was that the reason why he died? No. According to the coroner, he died from asphyxiation from having a knee on his neck. Before they took him out, he was having, hyperventilating and experiencing whatever, effects from, of course, maybe the fentanyl being in his system. But ultimately, the coroner concluded that's not what killed him. He saw a Candace Owens documentary, and from there, he was convinced. He said something like they hit him with the Fenty, and did he die? I don't know. But like I said, the coroner, the trial, we've already gone through this exhaustively. Derek Chauvin killed George Floyd, not fentanyl. October 17th, conservative social media platform Parler, which a lot of people became familiar with when Donald Trump was flirting with the idea of buying Parler, announces West is buying it. And West says, in a world where conservative opinions are considered to be controversial, we have to make sure we have the right to freely express ourselves. Okay. Now we're going to take a pause there because this is where I think a lot of people get thrown off, right? Because you have to understand, in this country, in America, you have the freedom of speech. Nobody's going to throw you in jail. Nobody's trying to investigate you for saying how you feel. Speak your piece. But what you don't have is freedom from consequences. You don't have freedom from consequences. So that means you can say whatever you want to say. It don't give me the right to put a bullet in your head, and it don't give the government a right to throw you in jail. But with that also comes people's right to not want to do business with you, to not associate their brands with you. So people saying, oh, they're taking away his freedom of speech. They're not taking away his freedom of speech. Are they deplatforming him from certain platforms that are privately owned institutions, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram? Of course, and that's their choice. He's not being silenced. They're just choosing not to host his thoughts and messages on their platform. So he still has this freedom of speech, but he doesn't have freedom of consequence. Let's just be clear on that. A lot of people want to say whatever they want to say and not have to deal with the consequences behind it. You have the freedom of speech, but you don't have the freedom from consequences. All right, moving on. In an interview with Chris Cuomo, West talks about Jewish underground media mafia and says his DEF CON 3 remarks referred to when black musicians signed to Jewish record labels, and those Jewish record labels take ownership, a form of modern day slavery. The ADL says, Anti Defamation League says his remarks use age old anti Semitic myths about Jewish greed and power and control of the entertainment industry. Now, there are people, again, who look at this like, what is the problem with this? Because look at it. Yay streams, since all of this has started, Yay streams are reportedly down 20%, and his radio play is down 10%. If it's a myth about greed, power, and control of the entertainment industry, it certainly seems like it's manifesting itself, don't it? Given he's upset a lot of communities, he's upset a lot of people, but it definitely seems as though the power and control of the entertainment industry is not a myth. That's what it's appearing like. If you're looking at this whole thing, it's like self-fulfilling prophecy, right? He's saying these things, and then the actions leading up behind it are only strengthening those who believe that they do have power and control in the entertainment industry. Okay, so on October 19th, on Piers Morgan Uncensored, after saying he did not regret his anti Semitic remarks, West apologized to the people that are hurt with the DEF CON comment and to the families of the people that had nothing to do with the trauma that I have been through. On October 19th, West tells Piers Morgan that President Joe Biden is an effing eon for not taking advice from Elon Musk, and said he can use the term because he has mental health issues. That was a whole new thing. I've never heard somebody use that as an excuse. Like, yo, I can say whatever I want. I got mental health issues. Uh, you know, so that was the whole thing. Then they go down to breaking down his mental health and his connections to conservatives. He previously embraced Donald Trump in 2020 and told him that you remind me of my dad. How he ran for president. His current net worth is around $2 billion. Much of that coming from his long-term deal with Adidas. So it's going to be interesting to see how things continue to play out now that he's no longer with the brand Adidas, right? So now Adidas ain't dealing with him no more. And some people are saying it's because of all of the hate speech that he's been doing. Let me give you another alternative as to why this may be, right? Because we all know money talks. So let's look at Adidas. Adidas right now, the market is about to open. It's 9:23 a.m. And the pre-market is already down 8%. The news broke around 8:30ish around here. You see, it started trading sideways, dipped a little again. Seems like it's bouncing a little bit. But either way, over the last week, Adidas is down 20%. Over the last month, Adidas is down 26%. And although the market is down overall, over the last year, Adidas is down 70% in total. 70%, right? So Within a year, it was as high as $173. Currently, it's about to hit it's 52, break the 52-week low when the market opens and be less than 47.50. And it's probably going to go lower than that as the market goes today. Right? So you say, all right, like you said, the market is down. So let's give a fair comparison. To give a fair comparison, you could go right here, right? As you can see, Nike is trading at $87.64. So it's down less than 1% in the pre-market. But over the last week, Nike is down 5%. Like I said, the whole market is down. Over the last week, Adidas is down 12%. Over the last month, Nike is down a little under 10%. Over the last month, Adidas is down 26%. And over the last year, Nike is down 46%. This is a great time to buy in for anybody who is into stocks and Nike. And like I said, Nike's down 46%. Adidas over the last year is down 70%. So they are bleeding. They're bleeding. Right? Adidas is down 25% over the last month and 70% over the last year. This whole Kanye thing has started over about October 3rd, which is like over the last month. In comparison, Nike stock is down less than 10% over the last month and over 40%, 45% over the last year. So some have made the argument that Adidas is cutting ties with him because the brand is losing money. People are not, investing with them as much, and this is a problem that we haven't. So, got my boy here. He said he thinks this was his plan along. I think as well we're gonna see this unfold because a lot of people have been saying that as well. Like, all right, he really wanted to be free. He didn't want to have anybody, any ties and things like that holding him down. So now he's gonna have complete freedom and be able to show, uh, you know, this is what I wanted to do all along with my vision, with my complete ownership. Adidas no longer has their hands in my designs and things like that. Oh, also, before this happened, the head of marketing at Adidas also called for them to terminate their deal with him. Right? So here we have Sarah Camhy, the director of trade and marketing at Adidas. She says, coming off of the Adidas Global Week of Inclusion, I am feeling anything but included. As a member of the Jewish community, I can no longer stay silent on behalf of the brand that employs me. Not saying anything is saying everything. It's been 14 days since Kanye started spewing anti Semitic rhetoric, and Adidas has remained quiet, both internally to employees as well as externally to our customers. We have dropped Adidas athletes for using steroids and being difficult to work with, but are unwilling to denounce hate speech. The perpetuation of dangerous stereotypes and blatant racism by one of our top brand partners. We need to do better as a brand. We need to do better for our employees and we need to do better for our communities. Until Adidas takes a stand, I will not stand with Adidas. This is their director of trade marketing. That's a powerful statement coming from this person. Well, maybe not, because at the end of the day, they could fire her and move on. But clearly, they value her opinion and opinions like this because they've decided to terminate their dealings with Kanye. And they also put out a statement. Let me see if I'll be able to find it real quick about that they own everything. They own all of the designs and things like that. So he may not even be able to use those same designs that everybody loves. Let me pull this up real quick. I found it. Here we go. So Adidas released this statement, right? Adidas terminates partnership with Ye immediately. Adidas does not tolerate anti-Semitism and any other sort of hate speech. Ye's recent comments and actions have been unacceptable, hateful, and dangerous, and they violate the company's values of diversity and inclusion, mutual respect, and fairness. After a thorough review, the company has taken the decision to terminate the partnership with Ye immediately, end production of Yeezy branded products, and stop all payments to Ye and his companies. Adidas will stop the Adidas Yeezy business with immediate effect. That is expected to have a short-term negative impact of up to 250 million, I guess, euros on the company's net income in 2022, given the high seasonality of the fourth quarter. So that means you ain't gonna be able to get your Christmas Yeezy boots and your Christmas Yeezy sneakers and all of that because they cutting this today. It seems like they talk about, even though it's the fourth quarter with Christmas gifts and all of that, they done with him. They're willing to sacrifice $250 million just to stop doing business with this man because they feel as though the things that he's saying is that detrimental to their feelings, right? All right. Adidas is the sole owner of all design rights, the sole owner of all design rights to existing products, as well as previous and new colorways under the partnership. More information will be given as part of the company's upcoming Q3 earnings announcement on November 9th, 2022. All right, so they're going to take they're telling you, we're willing to lose $250 million in this fourth quarter. They have stakeholders and shareholders rather that they have to answer to. So that's why they said on the upcoming Q3 earnings announcement on November 9th, they're going to go into further details about why they decided to terminate the partnership. It's going to be a bunch of BS, but at the end of the day, that's crazy. I don't know how Kanye got into the situation, and maybe this is exactly why they were saying that, right? It's going to be no more Yeezys, and it's just gonna, like, they own all of the design rights to all of the products. So maybe Kanye really wanted to get off this deal because it's like, yo, I'm in a deal where I'm making money, but they're bootlegging my sneakers. They're putting out all type of fake Yeezys and Yeezy knockoff Jumpman type Yeezys, and I can't do nothing about it because of the deal that I'm in. So possibly that was his DEFCON 3, right? He said he was going DEFCON 3 on the Jewish people. Maybe that was his plan. Time will tell. Time will tell. So, shout out to the Conscious Rebellion. We gotta get you on the next stream, man, because I know you got the good opinions burning right now. They're gonna be like those Fila products. You know what I'm saying? So this is gonna be interesting to see, man. What's gonna be the next move for Kanye, man? Y'all put some comments in the video. Let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think Kanye is just spiraling out of control right now, and that this is just gonna be the beginning of his downfall? How much money we seen? Because Mike Tyson blow through. Because a lot of people say he's set for life already. He got enough money that he'll be good for life. But would it be possible for him to blow through $2 billion? They say he's worth $2 billion. Would it be possible? We're gonna see. But Kanye is a creator. He's an innovator, and he's very beloved by the people, regardless of all of the things that he's done over time. So let's see. Let's see if he makes his next move his best move. But that's all I got for now. King Blake giving y'all food for thought. Y'all do the dishes. Thank you for tuning in. My boy Conscious Rebellion said it's impossible for him to blow through that money. We gonna see. But other than that, thank you for your time. I'm out of here. King Blake, we gone.